Mr. Neil Morrissey and his business partner, Richard Fox, are building a beer empire. They've developed their own recipe for a blonde ale, devised a marketing strategy for their bottled beer.
Try that again. That's great, I love that.
Stretched themselves to the limit buying a country pub.
Oh, the crown jewels.
And given it a radical facelift.
I'm the only one who's pissed off, apparently. Maybe that's because I'm a miserable old bastard.
Now it's time to make serious money from a supermarket deal.
You're damn right it's not for you, because you wouldn't be having it anywhere.
And build their own microbrewery.
Somebody pull my legs, but I'm fucking stuck.
To serve up the perfect pint.
Every brewer in the country's going to be looking at me going, what a tosser.
The Yorkshire village of Marton-cum-Grafton. Home to just 500 people, it sits between York and Harrogate. Hoping to exploit its prime location, Neil and Richard have acquired the lease on the village's only pub. They've now been open for nearly a week.
Look at it. Just look at this piece of kit. That's the fucking bollocks, isn't it?
The pub is just the beginning of their beer business. Neil and Richard hope to convince a national supermarket to sell their bottled beer. Currently in the red, they've given themselves just 3 months to achieve this. They also plan to install an on-site microbrewery that will supply draft ale to their pub.
Good down a minute. You're right, Nick.
Today's a crucial test for Ye Olde Punch Bowl, a special bank holiday barbecue.
This is going to be in action every single weekend. This will pay for itself in 2 weekends.
Buying and renovating the pub has already put them 50 grand over budget. If the business is to thrive, Neil and Richard need a major supermarket deal and a loyal client base for their pub.
For the whole project, it's been about £250,000. That's a hell of a lot of money. If this all blows back in our face, we're pretty much all buggered.
I will lose absolutely everything if this doesn't work.
As Chief Operations Director, Richard has been run off his feet setting up and managing the pub.
I'm sleeping, just leave me alone.
Celebrity Executive Officer Neil has been away on an acting job.
One of the main downfalls, of course, of being on a TV programme on the other side of the country is that I can't actually be there. It's a bit like not being able to see your baby take its first steps, if you like. You know, it's missing the first word, and then when our baby says the first word, it's going to be Richard and not Neil.
Where the fuck is Neil? Did I just hear a car door? Where is Neil? It's 11:30 and we start in an hour.
Today, Neil's back in Yorkshire and Richard's expecting him bright and early to help set up.
If I wait for Neil before we do the staff training, everybody will have eaten and drunk, and then we'll be doing the training, which completely defeats the object of the training. Right, this pub is all about great beer. And what me and Morris's philosophy is about beer is that it is this beverage of gastronomic value.
Richard's big idea is to encourage customers to match each gourmet dish with an artisan beer.
Talk to the customers. If they ask for the wine list, always say, would you like to see the beer list as well?
Upstairs in Morrissey Fox's HQ, office manager Lisa is swamped with bills and invoices.
For now, I've put your cheque in the post. Thank you. Bye. More money. Yes, more money.
Just to break even, the boys must take £15,000 every week.
You never get time to just sit down and do one thing. It's just coming at from all angles, and that's what's really, you know. And then when people want paying, I'm getting it, because obviously I'm the first point of contact. We've been paying the urgent ones, and then we're trying to put people off a bit and sort of delay them. That's really bad. So tonight, I better be busy, and then I can start paying some. Hello.
You're not holding her up from her work, are you? All right, she's busy, there's a lot to do. Hello, how are you?
Hey, Marcus.
Nice to see you. We're up and running, we're out to go.
An hour and a half late, Neil turns up for his own event.
Does that come with chips? Look at this piece of kit. That's brilliant.
How are you?
I'm all right, actually, yeah.
This is beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely stunning, man.
And quickly settles into the strenuous role of celebrity host.
It smells like light cheese. It smells like light cheese and pears, yeah.
150 paying customers have come to try Richard's gourmet food.
There we go. How's it going inside? Brilliant. Good. Are people going for the beers?
Yeah. Nobody's even asked me about them.
I know. We need to do a selling job, don't we?
Yeah, that's fine.
I didn't follow the suggestions, only because I'm not a particular sort of beer or lager drinker, so I just opted for the wine in the first place.
I think it's great that he's trying to change the way people drink beer with meal. But if you've been brought up to appreciate wine with meal, then it's going to be a difficult task to change people's minds.
Do you know what? I always get cramp in my jaw from opening it too wide.
Even Neil is ignoring Richard's recommended beer list.
Morrissey Fox. It goes perfectly with all food.
And on its own.
I'm tempted to try sort of Richard's recommendation of what beer he thought should go with the burger.
Well, I know the beer he recommended with this, and it's quite heavy bitter. It's the Cropton's beer, and it would go very well with the burger, but I'm here all day, you know. I can have another burger later on.
Right, let's see how much beer we've got left.
Well, hopefully, not very much.
Yeah, really.
Bar manager Adam has the day's receipts.
So, right, OK, how about bottled beers?
Bottled beer, do you really want the good news? I'm sorry to say...
0.
We haven't sold a single bottle of beer today.
It would have been really nice to have seen lots of people ordering the bottled beers that we recommended to go with each dish. We've got a lot of stock of that stuff. We need to be selling it, and it is, of course, it's disappointing that hasn't happened.
The takings are good, but the beer and food vision has left locals cold. And the problems don't end there. Already deep in debt, Neil and Richard still face the cost of installing their on-site microbrewery.
I think the brewery that we're building in the garden is one of our unique selling points. We will have beer being brewed in our garden less than 10 yards away from the bar, you know, and we want to brew an excellent ale that we can roll across the yard and serve in our pub.
It's already way behind schedule. The Morrissey Fox draft ale served in their pub is being produced at a nearby brewery, despite what it says on the sign out front.
We're not lying, we're just preempting advertising.
There was no point. We needed a sign putting up, didn't we?
We couldn't just put that bit on without that.
Exactly.
That's how it works out. And anyway, we thought we were going to get it in by now, and it's not there.
So nobody's asked you about it?
Well, we're not going to blame ourselves,
A lot of people
are we?
have been asking. A lot of people have been asking about the brew, and I say it's going to go in there, and we start work on it tomorrow. How dare you even question the fact that we're worried about our general public?
He's just trying to wind him up.
I've given him a sip of beer. I've given him a sip of beer, and now he's gone.
And it's gone to his head.
Yeah.
Neil Morrissey and Richard Fox are trying to build a beer empire.
Good, it's good, especially good.
They have a pub that's up and running, but their on-site microbrewery is nowhere near completion. Their business strategy also depends on selling their bottled beer to a national supermarket. If they get a deal, a local brewery will mass produce their recipe.
We're seeing Asda and Co-op. So, you know, we need to make friends with them.
The skedaddle, chaps.
The boys have blagged meetings with 5 of the UK's top stores. Their marketing consultant, Tim Ashton, knows that securing a deal will be quite a challenge.
They are going to need to persuade hard-nosed businessmen that a TV show, actor and celebrity know more about producing a successful beer over and above another established brewer with established sales, which they're probably going to have to knock off the shelf in its place.
A supermarket deal will help Neil and Richard pay off their debts. With the survival of their business at stake, they're learning their lines.
So we talk about the fact that we've identified the new trend in beer, if you like, and that gap in the market, the female drinker, the food.
We found the gap in the market, but is there a market in the gap?
Indeed, absolutely. Let's remember that one.
Yeah.
What's important for me, I guess, is that, you know, bottled ale is the biggest growth area in terms of ale, so there's a lot of competition in that area. So I guess it's kind of like, to Jill's point, making sure that you've got some strong marketing plans behind it that make us choose you over somebody else in terms of the listing.
Yeah.
Neil and Richard's marketing strategy is based on one simple idea. Use Neil's famous face. And Richard's.
This is how they're going to look in the bottle. And if you have a close look at the coat of arms, it's actually me over here holding a pint of beer and Foxy holding a chef's knife on the other side.
The story behind it is you guys. You see that immediately. But it's got a bit of humour in as well.
Absolutely.
So it really picks it out on the shelf.
I think we have taken a risk by putting the face on the product. I tell you what, if you don't like Neil Morrissey, you probably won't buy the beer.
Can I ask you what you might anticipate products such as this retailing for in store?
We actually offer a 3 for £4 to customers. So if we could provide that, that means it's running with all of the big brands that are currently out there. And then I'm sure with the right package behind it, it'll become one of the front runners.
So you'd be looking at 3 for £4 as an initial...
3 for £4, yeah.
I mean, the only thing that worries me about Asda is a lower cost store. And that means that our product will be cheaper and our margins will be tighter.
But yeah, hot toddy.
We should do business with them on that basis.
But please, you know, let's keep talking with our mouths and not with our cocks.
You know that I will always do the right thing on a business level. I'm quite prepared to sleep my way to the top.
Satisfied their pitch works, the boys are in Manchester to meet with the Co-op next.
Well, obviously, I'm Neil Morrissey, and I've been an actor for many of my much of my career.
Back at the pub, the microbrewery is little more than an empty shed, but it's still part of Neil's pitch.
What we've got is a microbrewery at the back of our pub, but it's also our, if you like, the Mad Professor's laboratory. That's where we're going to do all our experimentation with beers.
The Co-op prefers new products to prove themselves at a regional level before going national.
What we need to get a sense of is where you guys see this product going, whether it's a national product potentially or a regional product.
We see it very much as a national product, very much so.
And you would see it as being a national brand from the off?
Yes.
Not something you'd look to seed on a regional or local basis and then hope to expand outwards?
You know, the feedback that we're getting has made us focus very much on a national launch.
The only thing I'd say is it's a hugely competitive sector, you know. Yeah. I understand you guys are very passionate about your products and from what I can taste it's a very good product, but there are a lot of people out there producing very good products.
I am not sure that their ambition matched ours. That's how I would summarise it, and I think I detected that we were on slightly different planes and levels in terms of our, you know, the way we viewed the whole thing, and I do think that for us to move forward successfully at this point, then we need to have a meeting of minds, if you like.
Neil has to return to his acting day job. Richard finds himself without his business partner.
Acting? How fucking hard can it be? When somebody tells you what to do. I wish somebody would tell me what to do. That's what I need. Bob the Builder, fixing it for me. Bob the Builder, can you fix it? Bob the Builder, yes, I can. That's my mantra in his absence.
Even without his famous friend, Richard plays the celebrity card.
Neil obviously has a strong beer association, if you like, as a personality.
Yeah.
I've been doing, as I say, beer and food talks for years and years, and we've said to everybody, you know, we are happy to come and do, you know, sort of in-store activity.
All of that is good. I think the most important thing is that we would assess the quality of the liquid, and we do that here. We have a blind tasting. We try it against several similar style beers. But I think the most important thing for us is that the quality is there.
3 supermarkets seem interested in Morrissey Fox Blonde Ale, but with no firm offers on the table, a deal is far from being signed. For the next week, Richard will have to concentrate on a more pressing priority, running the pub.
Most places will have a week of training after finishing refurb. The whole thing was going so over budget that we just had to get started. We had to get training, we had to get some money in.
Neil and Richard spent £125,000 giving a 16th century country pub a trendy makeover.
From 8 till 9 is going to be absolutely intense.
At £14 to £19 for a main course, the food menu is hardly pub grub. The boys have even banned crisps.
1 smoked eel, 4 no starters. 2 trout, 1 pork.
It was everything fresh, beautifully cooked, amazing flavours, everything amazing.
Cheers. Seeing their old boozer serve high-end food has left some villagers unimpressed.
And what's it like?
Crap.
Why do you say that?
Because it is. Look at it. You didn't see it before, did you? Did you?
I understood that the aim was to create a pub that served food. I believe that we now have a restaurant that serves beer.
Neil and Richard only own the pub's leasehold. With 4 pubs a day going out of business, the pub's freeholder also has a lot to lose. If the pub goes under, Brian Horner will be looking for new tenants.
Not quite how we left it 6 weeks ago. Gives the impression of a wine bar in an old traditional English pub. The main thing that I look at here is the right-hand column, which is the price for a bottle of beer. £6.95, fairly high, I would think, £7.95. Richard did explain that he wanted to mix and match the menus with beers. Great concept. Whether it'll work up here at Martin Cumgraff, we will wait and see.
Do you think it'll work?
Personally, no. This is the Oak Room, which is used as an overspill restaurant, really. Now we've got painted panelling, what I would call yuppie green paint, and an oak floor. And I think a lot of the modern 21st century input into this pub, in my view, is not right. It's not a traditional pub anymore, is it?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think it's a traditional pub that's evolved. It was tired and it was dowdy and...
it was traditional pub.
No, it wasn't. A traditional pub has great food and it did not have great food.
No,
in fact, it hardly had any food at all.
I would agree with. The trick will be to keep your client base and expand it. Once the novelty factor of A, you two, B, the new punch bowl, and all the publicity that's been floating about, well, come and see you on a dark, cold, foggy night in November and see what your views are then.
What we've done here, no question about it, is a massive fundamental change. I do believe, Brian, that especially in areas like this, people are resistant to change. That's a fact. Yeah. You know, it wouldn't matter if the place was completely crumbling with no roof before, and it'd been like that for 20 years. If it changed, people would have a problem with it. The world's against me. This is a lone fight. You know, you've fucking bust your balls, don't you, to, you know, do all this and make it great. And Brian comes in and says, well, I think you did an OK job, but there's a lot of problems and this, that and the other. And then sometimes I feel like I'm the only person there and it's a very lonely place to be and no one understands me.
Neil and Richard remain determined to stick to their guns. And there is some good news. Richard's finally got the builders to complete the outhouse. 4 weeks behind schedule, it's now ready for the microbrewery.
It's like something out of James Bond. And when we get that equipment in, we can have Blofeld stroking his pussy in the corner.
Neil is still away on his day job as an actor on a TV drama.
Mr. Wilding, this is Mr. Harker. Danielle's showing her father around the school.
Richard is left to oversee a crucial stage in the business's development, installing the microbrewery. A neighbouring brewery has some equipment for sale.
This is it. This is our kit. I just imagine what it's going to look like in that refurbished outbuilding.
The boys haven't even started paying off their debts. The cost of the microbrewery kit will take them further into the red.
£40,000. haven't got £40,000. Right hand down. Whoa. The deposit on the van was £300. What's this piece of kit?
Are we having a handing over of the cheque ceremony?
Yes. Can we do that when we've... No, because I need to go back to the pub, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not going to lock it here. I've got you chained to the brewery there. You're all right.
Still need to find the money from somewhere. Over there. Great at this. I've learnt from the Master Morrissey, king of delegation. Yeah. Fantastic. £300 deposit down the Swanee.
Spray it with a hammer.
Yes, good plan. I'm coming out. Fuck. Somebody pull my legs. I'm fucking stuck. How did I get in here? I'm trapped in this fucking van. I'm fucking stuck, man. Yeah. Up she goes. Yes! I am paying for half of this brewery with my own personal cheque because we are still waiting for money to go into our business bank account. So until that arrives, we're funding this business out of our own personal savings.
2 days later, Neil's back in Yorkshire for the first ever on-site brew.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bloody hell! Oh no, that is just a perfect fit!
Well, I'll tell you what, man, if our beer fails, we rent it out as a sauna.
It's very much an important thing that we are seen to be doing it ourselves.
Absolutely.
It's just me and Foxy making a brew in our own brewery outside our pub.
So basically, this is going to slide and tip.
The boys will be working with boiling water and caustic acids, so Richard Howell from established brewery Cropton's has agreed to keep an eye on health and safety on their first day.
Quick, run!
Careful, I've got the caustic.
Yeah, well, don't fucking spray it near me. What are you actually spraying, Richard?
What am I spraying?
Spraying caustic.
I'm spraying a caustic.
Do you mind getting out of the tank then, please? You don't stand in tanks when spraying caustic.
There, see? It's a lesson learned, that's told you.
If the boys get a supermarket deal, the bottled beer will be mass-produced at Cropton's brewery. In the on-site microbrewery, these novices have decided to create a new recipe to sell in the pub.
We're not making a blonde ale, no, we're making an English bitter. A best bitter.
New ingredients.
New brewery.
New brewery.
New brewers.
New everything.
Good brewing is all about exact measurements.
We're looking for 3 kilos, which is 1,000 grams.
3,000 grams?
1,000 grams?
Is a kilogram.
What are you talking about?
You are such a fucking
What are you talking about?
3,000 grams, mate.
I know.
You didn't say that, though, you dick.
If I can stand on something lower down, I can take the weight of your sack in the palms of my hands. But I don't think I'm that strong.
I don't think you can handle my sack, mate, really.
Now switch the pump on. Yes. It's coming. It's coming. I think that's about right, mate. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
The correct amount of water must be mixed with the grain.
Yeah. He hasn't given us the ingredients for a 4 barrel, has he? Because that looks like a lot of grain to me and it's hardly moved.
Right, I'm going to stop this now.
No. Fucking wrong tap.
Because they haven't measured the water out when they were mixing the actual mash, they obviously got maybe too much water in and not enough malt in at the same time.
So what do we do now, apart from start again?
We might as well chuck it out and fucking do it next week.
Neil?
I don't even want it.
If it's not... Shut up. If it's not right, we won't serve it.
No, I'm not... It's pointless. That's wrong.
Just try something, though, for me. Open the chute, don't add any more water, put it in dry, and just try and blend it all, mix it all.
Super mash.
Go on, keep it coming. We might get away with this by the skin of our bloody teeth.
Every brewer in the country's going to be looking at me going, what a tosser.
Even with state-of-the-art equipment, making beer is a complicated process for these novice brewers.
Drive it low.
What, like that?
No, not that much.
Stop fucking about, Rich.
Shit, man, this is over 40, and we've got to bring the temperature down.
Well, I don't know how to do that. Equal thing where
right, is there something we haven't done?
Switch the pump on.
Pump on there. Pump on the wall.
Why do I switch this pump on?
No, switch it on, I said.
Fucking hell, you didn't switch that pump on.
Who the fuck is over there?
I've just walked over here. You switched this on.
Well, at least I identified the problem.
Fucking hell.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
After a stressful day's brewing, Neil and Richard must leave their beer to ferment for 5 days.
This is bad shit.
Well, no, it won't kill it. We just have to wait for it to cool down.
Only then will they know if it can be served in the bar or poured straight down the drain.
Based on what I've seen, it's going to be a bit hit and miss. You need to be spot on with the temperature to actually get the actual extracts that they'll need. There's a real danger that they've ruined the brew already.
Not content to be country pub landlords, Neil Morrissey and Richard Fox have set up meetings with 5 top supermarkets. If they don't get a deal, the only drinkers of their specially brewed beer will be the 500 residents of Marton-cum-Grafton.
To get your beer in the massive supermarkets and to get it out in so many outlets for so many people, for it to be on show everywhere and people to be buying and drinking it all over the place, it's going to be a massive achievement. It'll be hugely satisfying. But of course, I think it deserves it.
They've met Asda and Co-op, but Waitrose were the only supermarket to insist on a blind tasting.
They're calling us, which I think bodes quite well. I mean, I can't imagine they're going to phone up and say, I'm sorry, I think your beer's crap. Well, they might do, but I doubt it. They liked what we were doing in principle and they needed to taste the beer. So I think this could be them. Hello, Richard Fox speaking.
Hello, Richard. It's Giles here from Waitrose.
Giles, how are you?
Thought I'd give you a call to catch up on the beer. As you know, we go through a process where we taste the beers blind so that we can assess them as objectively as possible. And to cut to the chase, in its present form, the beer is not something for us. I'm afraid it just wasn't quite up to our standard.
OK. Are you sure you had the right beer that you tasted?
Yeah, we got... Yeah, I mean, he sent us 4 bottles through. One of the largest obstacles would be that the colour and the nose weren't quite what we would expect from a blonde ale. And we'd have some concerns about, what customers would be expecting.
Yep.
And,
All right, Giles, no problem at all. If we get anything else lined up, we'll be delighted to send it to you. But thanks very much for your time anyway.
OK, no problem.
Thanks, bye. Wankers. Fuck off. What can I say to that? I'm absolutely, genuinely gobsmacked. Clearly, they have tasted the wrong beer. What silly people. It's not for us. Well, do you know what? You're damn right it's not for you, because you wouldn't be having it anyway.
A supermarket deal is a potential gold mine and is a vital part of the boys' business strategy.
Well, watch out.
Well, he's the one who's got to watch out.
Thank you.
It's just a 3-mile-an-hour zone, and you're on your phone.
I hope that's not the guy we've got a meeting with.
For their meeting with Tesco, Neil and Richard have called in backup, marketing consultant Tim Ashton.
You've had the jolly japes, you know, we've had fun doing this, but now this is really serious. Every week they'll get a proposal like this. So why this one? And I think if you go, oh, well, because it's us and because we've got some publicity around it...
No, of course not, absolutely.
And they need to be told the two of you have been working together and that, particularly on Neil, that this isn't just another celebrity endorsement.
Get a smell of that. I'm going to have some too. You get that fruit smell straight away. I mean, when girls smell this...
Is there nothing in this? What's in this? Is there's no sort of fruity thing added?
No. It's purely from the hops.
If you're a non-ale drinker and this is your first taste of ale, you'll be thinking...
Which I think, if we put it on a shelf, God forbid me, with your names on it, people are going to buy it or try it just because of that. like?
Obviously, the tasting notes are just made up for this particular label, but there will be very similar sort of tasting notes, etc., on the bottle.
What I would like to see, if you guys are sort of up for it, is to do stuff in the Yorkshire stores with our Yorkshire buyer, and be live in the store. Especially, I'd love to see you in there when the beer goes on sale. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot now. What would that sell for?
For most of my local lines that I do in the local range, I sell close on £2 a bottle. But for national range lines, I would say it needs to be a little bit cheaper than that. So, but it's all about what the cost is that you can give me, and I guess you need to to be a hard-nosed businessman, the price needs to be right, guys. So.
Of course.
At their next meeting, the boys are feeling confident.
Yeah, look at this.
We might be in the situation where we've got a couple of offers to look at. And if we had to make that choice, why Sainsbury's, do you think?
As far as we're concerned, if we're going to go for something, we'll do it properly. And for us, that would mean launching the product into 400 stores. We would be very keen to look at this as an exclusive option, at least for a 3 to 4 month period. And I like the product. If the commercials work, then we go for it. And then we get cracking in terms of setting you up and getting the ball rolling.
That's great.
Then we all get the best
Fantastic. Oh, what a good city.
You realise we have got the two biggest supermarkets both effectively saying we really, really want this. And now the next stage of this is to get them to compete against each other, to fight for us, to give us the best price first, and secondly, to give us the best exposure and the best launch for our product.
5 meetings in the bag. The boys decide to send their production costs to just Sainsbury's and Tesco. Back at the pub, Neil and Richard's first ever beer from their own microbrewery is ready for tasting.
It's either going to be great and it's going straight on that bar and punters are going to pay for it, or it's going to be complete dog piss and it's going straight down the drain.
Here it is, the little darling. Let's hope it is anyway. But let's have a little sniff.
Do you remember this?
On previous tastings, the boys have been exceedingly enthusiastic.
It's great! It's absolutely fantastic.
I am proud.
That's fantastic.
I think we've created a new ale style.
Once again, they apply their unbiased judgment.
I think that's good. It's really good.
Man, we've made a bitter. We've made a fucking bitter.
That's good, isn't it? Beer.
Beer. Beer. We made beer.
That's a bitter. That's a good bitter. And it's going into the cask.
It's coming. It's come. No!
That's the first signed, sealed and delivered Morrissey Fox brewed by these fair hands beer in a cask.
It's a small step for mankind, but a giant step for Morrissey Fox breweries. Direct from the Morrissey Fox microbrewery in the beer garden. Best bitter, £2 only!
Exclamation mark.
A bargain.
Ye Old Punch Bowl has been open under its new management for 3 weeks.
Good evening. Sorry, you look startled then. Sorry about that.
Helped by the gourmet restaurant, the pub is breaking even and hitting its £15,000 a week target. But drinks prices have increased by nearly 25%.
The day it shut, it was £2.10 for a pint of Tettlers at our drink. And the opening night when we came in, it had gone up 60p in sort of 3 or 4 weeks. So I just thought that was a bit extravagant. It had gone up more than oil, actually, more than diesel.
Some local drinkers have deserted the pub. Despite living just 200 yards from Ye Old Punch Bowl, Patricia Rose and John Joves now go elsewhere.
A pint of beer is now an extra 60p a pint. A small glass of wine is an extra 50p, so that comes out at £1.10. If you do 14 rounds at that per week, that's £15.40 per week. If you do 50 weeks of the year at £15.40 extra, it comes out at £770 a year extra.
So we've basically abandoned the village. We travelled now 5 miles to come out for a drink.
Some drinkers are now going elsewhere because they can get their drinks a lot cheaper.
Well, good. Well, if you want to have cheap drinks, go to a place that sells cheap drinks. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Because you ain't going to get the service that you get here.
If you want the full experience of quality, taste, service and ambience, then you come here and you pay a little bit more for it. Simple as that. It's not brain surgery, is it?
Of course it isn't.
It's a few days later.
Do you know what? It's not half bad. The whole breakfast is really good with the best.
Yeah.
Neil and Richard are about to put their claims on quality to the test.
Hello there. My name's Annabelle Smith. I'm from Cask Mark. I've come to test the quality of your cask ales. Hello there. Nice to meet you.
Cask Mark is the national hallmark for beer standards. Its inspectors are invited to pay a surprise visit by pub landlords who think they serve top-quality cask ale.
If you want to stay with me while I'm doing it,
No,
that'd be
well,
really
I mean,
good.
Philly Boots, I think they're all great.
Beers are given a score of 1 to 5 on 4 key criteria. Temperature must be between 11 and 13 degrees.
That just scores a perfect 5 on that one.
Beer needs to be completely clear.
There is a slight cast on that beer, so what I'm going to do is score that a 3.
It has to smell just right.
That's absolutely perfect. It smells really, really fresh. You look relieved.
And taste spot on.
No, that's absolutely perfect.
Good, good.
Each beer is marked out of 20. Below 16 is an automatic fail.
What you've scored on that beer is 18 marks out of a possible 20.
2 more beers pass with flying colours.
That's bang on.
The House Blonde Ale is next.
That's nice.
Because it's dropped below 10 degrees, I'm only going to score it a 2. That, we would say, has got, again, a slight cast on it, and I think it's because it's so cold.
It's just a little bit. It's 1 degree down.
I'm going to score that a 3 on taste.
It's my favourite, that.
The 5th and final beer is even worse.
That can't be right. It's going right down now.
It's not, you know.
But that's 19.9. That's well off.
How is that happening?
Blimey, mate. That's almost boiling temperature.
That is too warm to serve a cask ale.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
With only 3 of their 5 ales hitting Cask Mark standards, Neil and Richard have failed the inspection.
I was sort of dreading it at first. I thought it was kind of, and like you said, we were probably a bit complacent.
I actually felt quite down and depressed when she was going, well, there's problems here, we've got a problem with this and a problem with that. And it's like, shit, I didn't expect that at all. However, on reflection, it's brilliant.
Very good.
Because after that, we've learned so much and the beer will be even better.
Yeah.
Undaunted, Neil and Richard are still pursuing a supermarket deal for their bottled beer. Sainsbury's and Tesco were sent the production costs, and both now want the rights to sell it, but on an exclusive basis. The boys need to make a choice.
So I reckon we could clear 25p a bottle. So if we did 20 bottles per store per week, in a year, we could make about 70 grand profit, 75 grand profit.
Yeah.
If we then went to 60 bottles a week, you'll like this, that profit moves to about 200k.
That's sounding more
which is a proper
attractive,
profit.
yeah.
Exactly. Tesco's are going to give us over 500 stores as a national rollout, whereas Sainsbury's is going to be more like 450. So that is more.
Absolutely.
And when you this volume, that's important.
All we've done so far is spend money. I mean, we've gone way over budget on the pub. You know, we can't underestimate the importance of an extra little bit of volume from one supermarket over another, because even if that makes the difference of only, 20 or 30 grand, that's suddenly offsetting the over budget of the pub. We just need to get positive cash flow, Tim. It's as simple as that.
Decision made, the Tesco deal is ready for signing.
It's like, this is it now. I don't know where.
But it's a risk for both sides.
I have an idea of the size of this and the sort of nature of the gamble that I'm taking. You guys of your size don't usually get this level of distribution. To achieve the minimum numbers, we're talking about 500,000 bottles a year.
Right, make a little note of that figure.
500,000. Yeah.
500,000 bottles of beer. Write that down.
I'm writing it down, don't worry.
I think you need a single page for that figure.
I can't stress enough the fact that if we ask you for product, we want it to turn up. There are hundreds of other brewers out there who can deliver the beer that I want when I want it.
We will deliver. We absolutely will. That is our mission.
Right, OK.
So
thanks very much.
Fruitful relationship.
Indeed.
Tim, thank you.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Looking forward to it.
In 6 months' time, if the beer isn't selling, it'll be pulled from the shelves. For good.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right, yeah. A bit knackered, but I'm all right, yeah.
Well, we've just signed on the dotted line.
Fucking hell. So, what have we signed for?
We've signed for the rest of our lives and a massive amount of work. We've done well.
I'll go home and after my post-Waterloo Road wank, I'll have a bottle of Morrissey Fox Blonde.
Fantastic. All right, mate, take it easy. Well done.
Well done. Good idea. Well done. Bye.
Cheers, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
OK, bye.
Bye.
It's 6 weeks since Neil and Richard reopened Ye Olde Punch Bowl. With a long-term acting commitment, Neil's involvement can only be from a distance. Day-to-day responsibility for the restaurant, pub and microbrewery continues to fall on Richard's shoulders.
You're right. The pressure's on him at the moment. When I'm swanning about on set with people bringing me cups of tea, running around doing lines, you know, he's sweating very much away in the kitchen.
Fucking hell.
Without Neil's celebrity presence, Richard has the task of convincing locals to stick with the pub.
I don't mind the doubters. I don't mind the critics at all. It's part and parcel of it. My challenge is actually not to reject them, but to turn them around. And, do you know, we're doing that on a daily basis.
Ye Olde Punch Bowl may be hitting its financial targets, but for now, there are no givens for Morrissey Fox's business.
There is money coming in. There's not enough coming in yet. There is no way. We will not know for another 6 months, at least, that we have financial security in this business.
A vital part of the boys' financial plan is selling their bottled beer in a national supermarket. Neil and Richard have come to Glastonbury to launch their beer to the masses. Once they've cleared their heads, that is.
Fucking Glastonbury's brilliant, isn't it? Morrissey. Mate, you getting up? Huh? Mate, I actually feel really good.
Considering?
I feel really good.
Oh, God.
Oh, what? Do you know what? I can't believe how good I feel. There's a lot to be said for getting up completely off your box.
Surrounded by 130,000 party-goers,
Happy Glasgow 2008 to you, mate.
the boys will be selling their beer at the Real Ale tent.
We've actually got a job today. We are now beer workers at Glastonbury. We are behind the bar selling beer, but we're only going to sell our own beer.
People are going to ask us for other beers,
Otter,
and we're just
Schmotter.
going to just give them ours.
We're going to go, no, Otter Schmotter, you haven't tried Morrissey Fox.
Glastonbury also is regarded as one of the greatest events on the planet.
Yeah, true.
And if our beer goes down well at Glastonbury, theoretically, that means our beer is one of the greatest beers on the planet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's 9 pints of Morrissey Fox.
What's what? Pint of Morrissey Fox?
Yeah, just one.
2 pints of Foxy.
Oh, yes.
Please.
You got ID?
You're a licence holder. You can make the judgment.
I'm a PLH. I reckon you look old enough. 3 hours. It's going really well.
Yeah, I'll have a pint of that.
So, brilliant.
It's easy to sell your own beer to people when you're on the telly.
There's a huge risk with the supermarkets. There's a lot of upfront investment to go into that. And if we don't hit sales targets there, That's going to be out the window as well. Morrissey Fox Blonde Ale, coming to a supermarket near you soon.
We're going to be selling in off licenses, and then we're looking at other restaurants, bottled trade, and then we'll be looking abroad and maybe work out sort of franchise deal where we can brew Morrissey Fox in North America. And I'd love to be in China as well. But yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is world domination. Anyone stand anything, mate?
Oh, go for it, pal.
Oh. This is actually what happens to all of our beer.
I know, it's a real shame. And do you know what? Everybody's watching us piss.
I quite like that.
Everybody. Walking into your local store.
Yeah. With
and
our
you're
photograph everywhere.
staring back, I know. Amazing.
Oh.
Amazing.
Oh,
life's good.
Yeah, I know.
What have you seen now?
No, it's just I'm getting a bit of a stiffy talking about it.
Talking of which,
I've got a bit of a movement now.
We've done the beer, the microbrewery, and the pub.
Yeah.
In the space of 6 months.
And also,
which is incredible.
Yeah, it is, and it's a big working business, but it's still baby business.
It scares me, man, sometimes.
Yeah, but it's got so much further to go.
We're in that stage now of still battling away to launch the pub properly. We're still at that stage of launching the beer properly. So, you know, that we're looking back over the last 6 months like, wow, our achievements are amazing, but we actually haven't. It's going to start again now for another 6 months.
Yeah.
In a different way.
Yeah, and then another, and another, and another,
yeah.
and another. Just wipe your lips, and then I'll give you a big hug.
Well, if you've got a great local pint, add it to the Big British Food Map at channel4.com/food. Next up, one of the Hughes girls is about to change her name, The Family.